Thank you guys for joining us for another interview with Hollywood Now, where we interview today's hottest stars, insiders, and influencers of Hollywood. And today we have a wonderful, another special guest. Before I bring her on in, I want to thank you guys so much for your partnership and your sponsorship. All of our partners, we couldn't do this without you. USC Black Alumni Association. We want to thank the Moreland Greenwood Foundation. We want to thank Dr. Marlon Hester Sr. and Pioneer Credit, as well as hearttoheartforyou.org, Hill to Hill, for their wonderful work they're doing in the community that believes every feet deserves a pair of shoes. They're doing wonderful work downtown and all over the greater Los Angeles area. And thank you guys so much for your help. And if you are interested in partnering with us and sponsoring with us, please reach out to us at King Solomon Entertainment.tv. Connect with us. We'll let you know how you can make that happen. Also, if you want to support us directly, we are on PayPal, Zelle, Cash App, and Venmo, King Simon Entertainment Company. Any side donation we greatly appreciate it as we move forward to make this platform a continuing platform. Thank you guys so much. If you have not shared, subscribed, commented, please do so. You will want to share this video. Very empowering video, very empowering guest. And at this time, we want to introduce to our audience none other than Hollywood manager guru, author, Cheryl Cobb, who have worked with some of the biggest names in entertainment. A wonderful insider, a Hollywood influencer that is changing the game, making a difference, and bringing her certain je ne sais quoi to the industry that we need. Definitely a fresh, innovative type of moving around as she tells you about a lot of secrets about her book that will change your life and how you move and maneuver and navigate through Hollywood. So thank you so much for doing this platform with us, Mrs. Cheryl. Please introduce yourself. Let them know if I didn't do any justice. Please let them know who you are, and we can start the interview.
Oh, thank you. No, that was a perfect introduction. That was everything. Hollywood guru, insider, my book, 10 Dirty Little Secrets, manager, producer, you name it, I've done it, and I am here for you today.
Thank you so much. Please let us know where did it all start for you as far as you entering to the business? Was it at the front of camera talent? Did you go behind the scenes later? Where did it all start for you in
You know
entertainment?
what? I still consider myself behind the scenes talent. I started a long time ago in the entertainment industry, but as an entertainment manager, but not necessarily a manager. I was a road manager, a tour manager, and I've climbed through the ranks, but always behind the scenes. Now that I'm selling my book and marketing my book, the only person that can sell my book or the best person to sell my book is myself. So I have to
So,
be in front of the camera to do that. So this was one of those things that during COVID, I was really selling my book and getting ready to go on a 15-city tour.
mm,
And it was booked and we were ready to go. I had a garage full of books. And then COVID-19 happened and then we were
yeah.
stuck at home. And when
Mm,
we got stuck at home, I couldn't travel. And I was like, what am I going to do without these books?
mm,
So, what's the next best thing? Go to your next. Let's
yeah.
get on the internet and let's just start talking about it. And the more I started talking about it, the book started selling, and then conversations started happening. And I found myself in front of the camera. It wasn't like by design, but I'm okay with it because I'm having fun answering a lot of questions, teaching. Just people trying to get into the entertainment industry and just giving out a wealth of knowledge from my book and my experiences.
Yes, yes. No, it's wonderful because it's so needed because a lot of times the paradigm shift of Hollywood is constantly changing, and they say now you have to be your own first agent. And
Yeah.
so lots of times we have to do the work ourselves. And so I believe we come full circle in that. And so what you're saying, I know it's going to definitely make a difference. And so when did the vision become clear that you wanted to start your own company, or if you wanted to, what you wanted to do next? When did that become clear
You
as a
know,
result of you gaining all this experience?
It's an ongoing process and it's still going. You never, as long as I have breath, I'm going to continuously shift and change and stretch. So none of it's new. None of it's like it's a paradigm shift because I went from management to being an author. But I'll tell you, I'll go back a little bit and I'll tell you why I wrote the book. And that'll tell you where I am now, how I got here, and where I'm going. So after years of managing several artists, I worked with Luther Vandross, Tony Braxton, Shantae Moore, Will Downing. I was in a season where actually I parted ways with my client. We parted amicably, but nonetheless, we parted ways. And for the first time, I found myself without any crying.
Mm,
And this is good because I was trying to segue into television pretty soon.
mm.
But it's just sitting at home one day watching Oprah, this is some years back, right before the Oprah's last season, one of my clients was on Oprah. And I thought, oh gosh, I'm at home. I can watch this TV show. This will be good. I never get to watch all of Oprah when it's really on. I usually, TiVo it or whatever back then. So I got on, I sat down, got a cup of tea, because that's what I do. Not, I started sipping my tea. So that's what
Okay.
I do.
Okay.
And you know what? One of my clients was on, and I was like, oh, this is gonna be good. And I thought, let me see what she's gonna say. And to my surprise, she said something, and it wasn't nice. And not only was it not nice, it was about me. And I thought, and my integrity, that's all I had. That's all I've had throughout all my years in this industry. And it wasn't like it wasn't definitely, but anytime somebody says something on a platform that big that's not positive about you, and this, my reputation is all I have. And so Oprah asked her question, and she said it was my handlers, and I thought, oh, how dare you? That is not the truth. And in that second, she said a few other things. And she says, yeah, because, my management and my team. And so at that moment, a lot of things were going through my mind because, the managers know where all the dead bodies are. But that's why we're managers, because we discreetly handle your business, and we keep our mouth shut about anything that's legal. But we basically are the gatekeepers. So I was like, really? That is still not the truth. So I had a choice. One choice is to go mouth it off and come back and just snap back at her. And the other one was like, what microphone's bigger than mine? What can I do about this? Because I know that's not the truth. And I thought, one thing I know what I know. Nobody can take that away from me. I know what happened. I know what I did. I know what kind of value I added to your life. And so, you know what? I'm going to handle this differently. I'm going to push forward. Let that go, because you know what? That's a story I have not. And I think that telling my story was a part of my journey. Like, okay, I'm going to tell my story. So my book has nothing to do, it's not dirty, even though it's just 10 dirty little secrets I'll explain to you. But my book is not about anybody else. The only person I throw under the bus is me. And I throw myself under the bus a few times in this book because I, I went to the school of hard knocks, and I don't want you to go through the school of hard knocks. So my position is teach, teach, teach. So anything that I know with people coming into the industry, people that are already established and they hit a brick wall and they don't know how to move forward, or people that are established. And because just like you said, there's been such a paradigm shift in the entertainment industry, they don't know where to go.
Yeah.
So I'm that person. You can bring your package to me, and I can coach you into your niche. And I'll coach you in the most positive, factual, and honest way possible. So I wrote this book, and it's not the one that I have now. I can very little secrets. It's the other book, which is my second book. It's called What's in a Name, and it goes through the whole entertainment industry. But because I wasn't an established author, and I kept reading the book, and I was like, there's a book inside of this book. Let me just introduce myself as an author. Everybody knows me as a manager. Everybody knows me as a producer. But now I'm going to be an author, so I'm going to put a little manual out, 130 pages, and I'm going to take 10 little secrets, and they're dirty, out of my big book, make a small book. This will pique interest, so people will know, hey, this lady really knows what she's talking about. So I call the book 10 Dirty Little Secrets, because they are, that nobody wants to tell you about the entertainment industry. And they're dirty secrets, because guess what? Nobody wants to tell you. So
Wow.
I'll tell you. And that's what started my journey on writing this book.
No, that's amazing because, like you say, a book within a book and a precursor. Because you begin to, after a while, there's so much knowledge, so much information. Don't want to convolute anything, and the fact that you could pull something out to make it easier, and just to make it like flow, and you can make the connections on your own because you're giving them all the tools that they need to do that, to make the connection. Because a lot of time people can't see it for themselves, so you could help them to see it for themselves, to make the connection about where they are and what their next move is. So
Yeah,
that's
and a lot
amazing.
of times people don't want to read this book.
Yeah,
So you
that's
give them
true too.
something small, and
Yeah.
then they see this could really help me. I like this author. I like what she's saying. Let me see what her next is. Then they'll read the bigger book.
No, that's amazing. So let's get into a little bit more about the Little Dirty Secret, the big book, the Little Dirty Secrets. You say it's not real. It's a play on words. Is you're not giving up any salacious gossip or what we used to as far as people who the insides that know a lot of little things.
Yeah.
But it's a journey of yours where you want to give back to the entertainment industry, those who are aspiring to come into the entertainment industry. What are some, if without giving it away? What are
Oh,
some key things about the entertainment industry that everyone who's aspiring or in it should know?
okay. So I'm going to give you a couple of highlights in my book.
Okay.
And everybody, like you don't have to be in the entertainment industry. You can work at Walmart, Target, a bank. It all applies to life and business. Because see, the thing about entertainment is everybody goes, "Oh, entertainment business changed." Entertainment has changed, but the business of it is not. Contract is a contract. Money is money. 1 + 1 = 2 all day long, all the time. So my first chapter in the book is called "You Are Going to Get Fired."
Wow.
Everybody gets fired. I don't. If you're an adult and you've been working in this industry, even when you go and audition, you can be actress, model, singer, dancer. It doesn't matter. You get rejected. You go, you audition for a part or a role or a reality show. Well, when you get rejected, what happens? Your feelings get hurt.
Yeah.
So it's about it's how you handle it. And same thing, my girl is out there talking about me. She says something bad about me. I can lay down and die. I could get depressed. I could go through all the plethora of emotions, or I could do something about it. But
Mm.
note this, I did go through those emotions, and that's why I talk about it in the book. I talk about the road to recovery. How do you recover once you get fired? How do you recover once somebody rejects you? Who are you to reject me?
Mm.
Who are you to tell me I'm not good enough? So guess what? I might not be good enough for you, but I'll be good enough for somebody else. But this business is not for the faint of heart. So if you've got grit and you got the wherewithal to stay in the business, keep pushing forward until you find the opportunity that's right for you, or you make the opportunity that's for you.
That's it.
So being
That's it.
fired could also be a blessing in disguise because you may have gone for something small and somebody get angry with you so much that'll push you to do something even bigger. Because every time somebody does something that I'm not happy with, I'm like, okay, that's good, that's fine. I'm gonna go around there and I'm gonna try my next opportunity because I believe in me.
Yeah.
So when the young lady was talking about me on TV, the biggest TV show in the world at that time,
Yeah.
I sat there and my feelings were hurt. And that's normal. So when you get fired or you get rejected, your feelings are hurt.
Yeah.
So I talk about in my book how to navigate your way through your feelings. Don't get your facts and your feelings mixed up. My second chapter is called "They Are Not Your Friend,"
Mm.
and you best
Wow.
believe that
Wow.
people go into the industry thinking, "Oh, they're my friend. Oh, my friend left me behind. Oh, my manager's my friend. My agent's my friend. My lawyer's my friend." And when it comes to
Mm.
business is this. You can't get those two things crossed up, and people do it all the time. So
Yeah.
I talk about friendship and boundaries and how you hire your sister, brother, cousin, and then you start elevating, and then they just don't have the information to take you to the next level. So sometimes you got to part ways. You still love them, but you know what? You got to keep it moving. So people need to know going into a situation that there's boundaries. When we part ways, we can still be friends. We can still love one another if we have mutual respect. We just don't work together anymore. And guess
Yeah.
what? Back to what I said from the beginning. Nobody can take away what you know. Nobody can take away what I know. So I used that as a strength and said,
Yeah.
okay, got it. I'm going
No,
to use that to move to my next one.
no, it's so amazing that you touch on all these very important and personal and all this intertwine of every emotion that it consists of, dealing with family and dealing with business partners who you think is family and friends. And it's all about business, but nevertheless, the saying, you need a lawyer to watch your lawyer. You need a businessman to watch a businessman. So where
And
you do it is.
yes, yes,
Yeah.
that's really
So yeah.
true. People
Yeah.
make a mistake make mistakes by, oh, well, Joe Schmo cousin or friend who's okay, but they're not an attorney. So we're
Yeah.
going to enter into an agreement that's going to affect my life. Well, I'm not an attorney. I better go get somebody to read those small little I's and T's, that I'm going to miss because I don't understand the language. And when you sign a contract, sometimes you sign your life away.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely. Yeah.
and then there's another step in my book called team players. Team
Mm,
players matter because picking the right team is going to be vitally important to your future. It's like a marriage. When you get married, you got to want me and I have to want you. When one of us outgrow the other, it's just not going to work anymore. So it's the
yeah.
same thing in representation. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
Yeah, no, you cannot get it, and you can also not get around the fact that when you're doing good, people will come in and try to undermine your existing management to say, have they did this for you? Have they did that for you? And people begin to believe and to feed on those, what seem to be not working right, or you seem to be dubious, that they'll prey on that and they'll blow it up, and it's like people will, bring
People
friction
be in your ear.
in your ear.
Mhm. And you
And
know what? When they're in your ear, they're telling you what they can do for you. What have you done?
yes,
What have you done? People tell me, oh, if I was representing you, you should be a star. Oh,
yeah,
you should be at the top of your game. Your people aren't doing their job. What have you done?
exactly,
And
yeah,
and I'll tell you this, that we work really, really hard to do what we do. But
yeah,
sometimes you have to understand that, and this is going to be really hard, that everybody has their portion.
yeah.
So what my portion may not be yours. So Beyonce's up there. And some people can swing circles around Beyonce, but Beyonce's portion is hers. What about your portion?
Yes.
And then
Yeah.
you get people going in your ear and
Yeah.
causing you confusion. People make really bad decisions. There's a chapter in my book called Loyalty Goes Both Ways.
Loyalty goes both ways. Absolutely. And if you could speak to the also the scenario of we going through this whole ownership transition, we going through this whole, like you say, do it for yourself if you can do it. And also this whole economic pay disparity. We talk about in realms of contract and knowing your value.
Yeah.
Speak a little bit about that. Like how can we bridge the gap on that?
Well, see, it's a lot of things. There's two things. You do want to surround yourself with a good team because power is knowledge. It's power. Knowledge is power. Goes both ways. So, and sometimes you might say, I don't want a manager. Go hire an attorney. Pay that $300. Let them read the contract. Let them negotiate with you and for you. And then it's over. And but it's best to have somebody along with you on side with you that knows what they're doing, that can help, tutor you. You can get up under somebody's tutelage, and it doesn't have to be a long-term arrangement. And guess what? If it works out, it could turn into a long-term arrangement. But you go in there alone, you're probably 9 times out of 10 going to get screwed.
Yeah.
And even when you read books, it's nothing like experience. You've been in this business, I'm sure, for a long time, and you keep learning, and I keep learning. So it's nothing like experience. It's nothing like being covered, really being covered, and then you learn as you go. Once you do those deals a few times, you can start making your own deals. And some people start off doing it themselves, and most of those people get caught up in really bad contracts.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you this, sometimes they're not bad contracts. It's just that you agreed to something that you didn't understand what you signed.
Right. Yeah. Which makes a big difference. Makes a big difference. Yeah.
I've heard people say, oh, that record label stole all my money. And I see this well, I'm not going to call any names, but I see it on TV all the time. I've worked on both sides. I've done a record label over at Universal when I was a GM, so I understand that side of it. I'm more of a people's person, so I love management because I love people. So I've worked both sides of the fence. But here's the thing: in acting, in a movie, or whatever, somebody's investing in you. So you're Joe Schmo with no opportunity. You've never done anything like this. It's only a dream, right? And then you somebody comes along, goes and says, "Okay, I'm going to invest in you in a record or a movie." But to get a record out easily is going to cost $100,000. If you're with a big record label, it's going to be $1 million to put a whole record out. They're taking a gamble on you. So if you lose, you just go, "Oh, somebody bought my record, and no, I'm so sad." But the record label has lost a lot of money that they can't recover because the record didn't sell. So they're taking a gamble on you. So what you have to know, they're taking a gamble on me, so you make the best out of it. You take those front end, the money that the people give you, and you make sure you invest that money correctly. So and make sure, like I said, you get a good attorney. Go through the contracts to see what kind of options you have. How can you get out if the situation's not working? What do I need to do? Because sometimes you're like, this is not working out for me. So these are the things that I talk about in my book. There's several other chapters, but I do like the loyalty goes both ways because back to your statement when you said people are in your ear talking, you got a person that's pushing their butt for you, and then
Yeah.
you're listening to somebody else. It takes, like I said, a marriage. When you're married, it's a contract.
Yeah.
We are a
Well,
team.
yeah, if you could speak a little bit about, and I'm so glad you're here again. This is Hollywood Now, where we are talking one-on-one with Hollywood stars, star power, influencer insiders. I'm telling you, share, comment, like this video. You is not going to get this. You buy the book, 30 Little Secrets. I'm telling you, it's an empowering book that you can learn about yourself, most importantly, and how you can navigate and maneuver through Hollywood and things you should know or affirming or whatever that you already know, but just those things that you should be paying attention to that you probably overlook. That's very, very important. So please share this video. King Simon Entertainment on all platforms. James Claiborne on YouTube. And this, if you could just touch a little bit, talk about the disparities and the economic disparities according to Black value worth when doing a deal, but also in my understanding of how the record business works, because it's a big thing going on with the publishing and people, the companies stealing your publishing, and which is different from the record labels, but the publishing company as well. The whole idea of when you do a record on a record end label, when you say it cost 100,000, they invested in you, they're taking a risk. I get that part, but when I hear about you in the red, they charge it against you. You don't begin to get any money on the back on the black as far as profit until you pay them back. So
Yeah.
my question to you, as a manager who works inside and on the other side for the people, that in my opinion, I know it's a loan, I know it's a risk, and those who take the risk are the primary. But to me, if I pay them back what they paid to do the project, aren't we partners? Should I get more of a percentage? Am I still yet an employee at that point? At that point, when the record does well?
So it goes back to negotiating the negotiation right from the beginning. Back to making sure you have a good representation who understands contracts. Now, some contracts will say, let me just give you an example. I fill it out in my book as well. So, okay, I'm going to get a deal where I'm going to give you an old deal where you're going to get 20 cents a record. Okay. And I'm going to spend $100,000 on you. I got to pay all these producers, and they get their points and their credits. So let's say I'm going to even say $30,000 up front. I'm going on the low end. Because in the old days, people used to get $3 and $4 million up front. They don't do that anymore. But I'm just going to start with a small deal with a new artist or something where you got $100,000 on the table and they give you $30,000 and say, here's 30,000, and you have to live off that until you get a record. So now the whole pot is $100,000. You got 30, so there's $70,000 to make that record. You with me?
Which
So then you pay your producers. Let's just say the producers are $10,000 a record. Let's say they're 10,000. You can go 5,000. It doesn't really matter. But let's just say that I already gave you 30. So let's just say we're going to spend another 30 on making the record. Okay, so that's $60,000. So we got $40,000 left. Now we got to do the marketing, and we got to pay for advertising. So, and we got to get social media. So now we're spending more money advertising to get billboards, to see stuff out. So you're gonna spend on marketing, trying to get you on TV. When it's time to go on TV, somebody's got to pay for your hair and makeup. Somebody's got to pay for tickets. Somebody's got to pay for the band. The tracks, the music. It costs a lot to be on a TV show. The record label's paying for that. So every time you make an appearance, they're paying for flight, hotels, ground transportation, per diem. They're paying for all this. So the tab continues to climb and get bigger. So let's just say you finally spend your whole $100,000, and the record starts to blow up. Okay, so we're fair. You got 30,000. So that means you owe the record label $100,000. I want a first class ticket. I don't want to ride a taxi.
now who making these demands? The artists?
Some artists do. Some artists do. Wait a minute. I want champagne in my dressing room. I want a tour bus, and then I want my band to be in another bus.
Wait, you mean to tell me they making these demands post understanding who's charged for this stuff?
So no, what they don't understand is
Okay, help me understand this.
it's being charged back to the artist. So the artist feels like, hey, I'm rolling, I'm doing good, I'm selling records. So
No way.
I come on now, you know this.
What?
So they make I'm gonna give you two sides of that story.
Okay.
Because if I'm selling $1 million, then that's what I want. Just know that if I'm selling $1 million, and I only think they only spend 100,000, there's $900,000 in there that I feel like you take care of, and you do. You start getting paid once they recoup their money back. Everything that they spent on making the record, you then paying the producers, you start getting a share of your money back. And it usually takes a whole year before they do a claim. So you're not going to get any money for a year from a record label.
Yeah.
You're not getting it. But once those residuals and those royalties start coming in, if you sold $1 million records, you'll start getting your 20 cents per record. And
Yeah.
remember, just 20 cents. Now, if there was a clause in your contract that said if you sold 20,000 records, you make 20 cents, but if you sold 50,000 records, you'll make 60 cents.
Got you.
You start making more money, but somebody has to negotiate that up front.
Got you.
Or sometimes it'll be like, first record, this is what I did. You can renegotiate your second deal. Everything is based on what you negotiated in the beginning.
Got you.
And most artists, it's a 3-year deal. It's a 3-year deal, and you got 3 years. They spend money, you spend money. So what I say to artists is have an accountant, or even a bookkeeper. If you don't have an accountant, you can use a bookkeeper. But somebody we call it a business manager, counting the money that you spend. So you know when you go back and you audit the record label, and it's time for them to pay you, and that your business manager comes and gives you all these receipts of, instead of having 4 band members, you had 10 band members and 5 background singers. Somebody has to pay for that. So you have to work within your means. You have to work because you're paying people back. Money's not dropping out of the sky.
I know, but it said to me, once you know how it works, if I know how I'm being charged and how I pay it back, I will have more of an eye of trajectory of what I mean, come on. I mean, this is so I didn't even know these details, and so I'm thinking that it was blind to how it works, to where they were blindsided about stuff that they didn't know about. But that's interesting to know. What about the publishing? Can you give us a little bit about the publishing? Because it seems as if a lot of people don't have their proper publishing.
Yes. Now, sometimes, and it's changed a lot right now, but there's a couple of different ways. Some people write their own music and they own their music, which I love. All the artists now are owning their publishing, which is
Yes.
fantastic
Yes.
because you get so much more money because you're the
Yes.
owner of your own library. But let's say Joe Schmo again just got a record deal. The Time Warner, or Warner chapter comes, Warner Chapel comes and says, "I'm gonna give you $500,000 up front.
Mm.
But I want 70%. And I'll give you
Mm.
30 until you recoup. Until you recoup what I give you that." So this is what happens. You can negotiate. It's if you can either say, "I don't want so much money up front. Don't give me $500,000. Give me $100,000, and I want 60%, and you have 40%." So it's all about the negotiation. And then here's the other thing. One thing is about publishing. If I give you money up front, I'm still taking a gamble. What if you don't sell anything? You get to keep that money. What if you never recoup? And most people don't. So
Yeah.
if you don't recoup the money, you've got the money up front. So if you make a deal, make a big deal, and get a whole lot of money up front, so then you can live and you can have a lifestyle. So either take a whole lot of money or take very little money up front and negotiate your percentage to be higher. So when
Yeah.
the record starts to sell, you get 60 or 70%, and they get 30%. And if you only took $100,000, you pay it back. And once you
Yeah.
pay it back, then you both are making money. The publishing company's making money, and you're making money. But and so sometimes people feel like, okay, now I don't want to pay the publishing company. They took a risk too. So what you want to do is negotiate in your contract that once I get to X amount of sales, these numbers have to change.
Absolutely. So
So
it's amazing, amazing because we hear so many stories. I used to watch Unsung, and that's like it became so depressing. I couldn't hear it talk. I couldn't even watch it no more. But
it's,
yeah,
it's,
they made a lot of money off our talent, and it's just wonderful what you're doing that empowers artists and people to have a good deal in place, and yeah, to know the business side of it. So
it's,
I'm so glad that a lot of us are coming forward as again. My idea was to have the full machine present that makes this whole thing turn, with all hands on deck. That really brings the picture, makes it a whole picture of the Hollywood whole entire experience. And what you do is an intricate part, major component to the wheel. So really want to thank you for your contribution. Encourage you to keep going, keep doing what you're doing. Um, if you don't have Dirty Little Secrets, please get the precursor, get the 10 things, the other book that she has, and
it's
just continue
called
to
10, 10
10
Dirty Little,
30
Little Secrets.
little 10
Yeah,
30 little secrets.
10 Dirty Little Secrets.
10 30 little secrets.
Mm-hmm.
Please get it. Please get it.
And
And
you
it's
can
going to
find it at 10dirtylittlesecrets.com.
1030littlesecrets.com. It's going to change your life. It's going to definitely empower you to be the best you can be to make major moves in this industry. I want to thank you so much for coming on, Miss Cobb. Thank you so much for what you do. Continue to do what you do. And I would like to invite you to do, we have a 60-second monologue um, contest. And we're going to pick the top three. And we want to put them before an all-star panel of Hollywood. Love for you to come back and be a part of that panel.
Yeah.
And I'd love for you to come back, please. And we're gonna do a panel. So thank you so much for what you do. We definitely gonna connect. And any final words before we exit?
I do have some final words. A couple of them. One thing is important because it's a crazy season. COVID is a crazy season. We're all at home and we're all trying to figure out what our next is. But just know, because it's easy to get depressed, it's easy to get discouraged. But know that you're important to the body, the entire body in the world. And people take that for granted. This is gonna pass. And when it does, take this time right now to prepare for your next. There's so many opportunities out there. Make your own records, make your own videos, create your own studios. You right now, while you have time and you're at home, make the best of it. Good luck. 10dirtylittlesecrets.com. Thank you so much.
Thank you guys so much. Sorry about that went out. Thank you guys so much for that. Thank you so much, Miss Cox, for coming on. Comment, share, subscribe. Please reach out, connect with her on all social media platforms. Connect with Kingside Entertainment on all social media platforms. James Claiborne on YouTube. Thank you so much. Another interview with Hollywood Now. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Have a great rest of your day. We'll connect soon.
You
Thank you
got
so
it.
much. Bye
You're
bye.
welcome. Bye.